Damn, bro, you a savage for real. That's my MC right there. Yo, he a psycho. Like, I think that's also why I like Ryo's moments more. Because, like, he's not always around. So when he is around, it's like, really impressive. You sick motherfuckers. Now listen. Sit your ass down. Class is in session. I've seen some disrespect in my time. But the way you motherfuckers have treated the water magician should be studied. If you were a major in any post-secondary education, you would be goddamn scholars of the maximum capabilities of being haters. I've tried to be respectful about this. But last week was the straw that broke the camel's back. The reason why I know the anime community is a deeply unserious group of individuals is that the things that they will complain about, time and time again. Sure, you don't like having overpowered MCs. You don't like having MCs that just always resolve the issue. I can agree to that at times. Insert water magician. A third of this show didn't even focus on the main character. And before I get you bitch ass comments, that's not a bad thing. Because while I love the main character Ryo, turned out he was a savage by the end, we'll get to that later. There was multiple points where he didn't insert himself to save the day. Half the goddamn time he was having dates with his hot elven girlfriend. And that's wonderful. Instead, his friends and his other party members were doing stuff. So the moments where he did insert himself and save the day, you're like, shit, I didn't see that coming because the last time, insert a bell or one of these other characters ended up saving the day. And while there definitely was those moments where people were still like, I wish the main character was around more, I felt like it wasn't complete hater territory. And then I saw last week. The number of times I have seen the same damn individuals complain, they don't focus on characters outside the MC enough. They don't flesh out characters past the MC enough. So then they insert Oscar, a very engaging character, gives a whole backstory episode. Want to learn more, and I'm like, damn, this is... And everyone's like, I can't believe they wasted a 3-minute backstory in a whole fucking... I am firmly convinced the anime community doesn't know what they want. In fact, I'll take that back. They want to be outraged. Thankfully, this doesn't have an abysmal score on places like My Anime List, so I definitely think it's probably the vocal minority. But a show that actually fleshed out its side cast and let an overpowered isekai MC not always save the day, and when he does save the day by the end, he's so pissed off you tried to kill his fucking friends that he doesn't even care. He's like, I'll start World War X. Bring it. Is this the greatest isekai I've seen all year? Absolutely not. But is this a pretty great show that I think was heavily criticized for dumbass reasons? 100%. Man, I usually do this at the beginning of the video, but it got me so heated. Make sure you drop a like though on this video, show your support, subscribe if you're new around here, and Patreon's where we covered every single episode of this wonderful show and more, if you also want to help fund the channel in videos just like these. So, I'm gonna miss this show. I really am. The MC is a thoroughly enjoyable character, and while I won't say this was my overall favorite or one of my all-time favorites of this year, I actually will say that this MC's probably within a top 10 for me of the year, mainly because he doesn't function the way I expect him to. And don't get it twisted, I'm isekai trash, but there's a difference between generic isekai and those that do its own thing. The only unrealistic thing that I have to discredit is the fact that this man was able to afford 2 homes in this homeownership climate. Come on now. But realistically, props to him. He now has a forest home and a goddamn city home that's just outside. It's brilliant. The concept of him coming in and saving his friends is totally something I expected. What I didn't expect was his savageness. And here's the thing. He's had no mercy in this show the entire way through. But it's always been towards, like, monsters or things that look like monsters that might be more demi-human-ish, right? Only thing really human-ish that he fought against was the busty beauty. But even then, like, you could assume, oh, but that's a villain. Oscar, while yes, the misunderstanding makes sense, he's like, you hurt my friends. nothing you can say. Like, he straight up looked at this man and said, I don't care if you're the most powerful person in this country. I'm going to slaughter you. And the craziest thing is when his friend stepped in front and said, don't do it, he's like, I'll just freeze you. That's insane. Now, a little too unhinged, to be honest. Wow. Like, I understand where both of their opinions came from. Oscar's like, you looks like you're kidnapping the princess. And he's like, you look like you hurt my friends. So now we fight. But still, might need to give him a lecture in manners, is all I'm saying. If you look at it from a political point of view, though, it would make a lot of sense for any nobility to find a way to kill him. Because while, yes, as an ally, he would be probably irreplaceable, as an enemy, he would be your demise. It would make logical sense to find a way to kill him before he could potentially kill you, is all I'm saying. The relationship stuff with his elven girl here, I actually really liked it. A couple episodes back, she realized that he left for a prolonged period of time and didn't tell her. I just felt so bad for her. I also like how... It's weird because the reason that whole dynamic works is because they kept the MC separated from a lot of the action for most of the show. So you actually felt like they developed here. I don't know, it's just... The show on paper functions like an isekai would, but because the MC is so blunt, he's so disconnected from everything, more so than a lot of isekai MCs ever would be in a political climate like this, it functioned into something so much more remarkable. And listen, I've seen criticisms for the show that I may have disagreed with, but I felt was based in their own logic, like, hey, we got a difference of opinion, but, you know, you're respectful, and I can kind of see where you're coming from, even if I disagree. But then I see the people where their criticisms make no sense, because all I've been seeing for the past decade is for a show like this to exist. And then the show exists and it gets punished. It's like, the anime community will say, all these shows are the same, so then the show will do something different, and then they'll say, this show isn't like what we're used to. I liked it a lot. I'm not going to say it's a masterpiece, but I felt like the entire way through it punched above its weight. I felt like the staff really cared about the source material, and like 60 to 65% of the fights looked goddamn beautiful, and the other times, I mean, yeah, the animation wasn't always the best, but they were punching above its weight, and a majority of the time they landed their punches. Let me know what you thought of The Water Magician down below, and do you want a season 2? Because I'd certainly watch one. Let me know. Drop a like, share your support, subscribe if you're new around here, and yes, Patreon is where you'll catch my full live reactions and more. Like, I also like to give video shout-outs to my patrons. So today we got Dylan Miles, Jordan Pierre, Stephen Thomas, MJ Minion, Azoff Montgomery, Migs021, Dredos, Raffle, Isa Jack, Blue Buddy, and we also have LA Rawl, so I appreciate the support. Please take care, and y'all have a good one.